Good morning, gamers and gentlemen. We have a new patch here on November 8th for me as a European. I guess it's 7th for you Americans. In this patch, there's a lot of changes as usual. There's new additions, balance changes to the map, balance changes to the heroes, to the items. There's most notably some huge changes to Yamato, a haze buff. Definitely, I'd say a buff overall, and of course this very scary looking bald version of Pocket in the Hero Labs. It's a spider hero. So we're gonna go over the patch notes today. We're taking out all of you guys' feedback. We're gonna read a lot slower, so you guys can just follow along while doing other things. So I gotcha. But let's just first show off how the Trapper actually looks in the sandbox, and then we can actually go into the rest. We can also do like an explain video if you really want to. So obviously the base kit is basically what's his face? Pocket. It's got the same gun, it seems like, except the spread is different. It's like a very horizontal spread. Looks like a spider, I guess. He holds a case of spiders. I assume this is a he. The default Trapper build, we gotta create one. Twitch. We just save changes so we publish it. I don't fucking know. This default. Nah, we're not gonna do that. That'd be funny though. Okay, so anyways, well, how does it work? So first off, I have Bottle Phantasmicide. Wow. Frozen jar that leaves a pool of poison, dealing damage and slowing. The pool spreads over time, growing in size. Okay. The radius goes up, the duration goes up, the DPS goes up. Okay. The second ability, Silk Trap. Create a thread of web between two surfaces. Enemies who touch the web take damage. Wait. What? What? Oh, that's so cool. Low-key. Okay, we need an enemy. You go through that. And then it disappears. That's actually super cool. That's really creative. I love that. That's a pretty solid amount of damage, and you're like hard slowed. So I guess you would combine your 1 and 2 low-key. Right? Yeah. But like they can see it, right? So we'll see how good that is. Wait, can you do it like instantly? No. Anyways, Pest Barrier. Apply barrier to target ally, granting Spirit Shield. As long as the shield holds, it periodically deals spirit damage and slows. What? Oh, it deals to and okay. So if, okay, wait, I got it. So if he then walks into it. So it's like your first ability, but you put it on a teammate instead. You put it on yourself. Yes. And it zooms out a bit. Okay. Cool. And an ultimate Crawling Plague. Release a wave of spectral spiders that can chase enemies and explode, dealing spirit damage. What? Hit enemies are poisoned, temporarily losing spirit and spirit resist. This effect can stack multiple times. Oh man. Oh man. Rip arachnophobia, gamers. They don't seem to do a very good job of chasing enemies. I don't know if that's a bug or maybe we can kite it very easily. They don't seem to really steer out of their way, but if they're close enough. It seems to kind of run around, but again, that might be because it's in the sandbox. So that's an interesting build, a rather interesting hero. This seems to be like a mix of a AoE. This is like a support, like a damage support AoE. Build this with, I'm thinking Mystic Slow maybe would make a big difference. The Spirit Shield health actually stacks like crazy with your spirit, so I could imagine, yeah, you just build a lot of spirit and you're gonna do a lot. We get a lot of power out of him. But moving on, that was Trapper. And then we're gonna just continue down the patch notes. We're gonna see what else is new. Added support for Hero Labs in private lobbies, private bot games, and sandbox they can use at any time, which we just did. Various adjustments to experimental heroes are listed in in-game notes for Hero Labs. We're also gonna slow down the reading, as you guys have complained about. Added quick buy. I love this feature. You can now right-click items in the shop to add them to your quick buy queue. When you return to the shop, you will automatically purchase the items you can afford in your set order. An indicator on the HUD will light up when you can afford the next item on your list. In settings, you may change the purchase mode to use a hotkey while in range of the shop rather than auto purchase. The shaders, map, and various other resources will now pre-compile on the dashboard to improve loading times when getting into a match. This also reduces in-game hitching in some cases. We saw that when we started the game previously. Added a visual indicator when browsing builds that shows which item types are the most present in the build. Weapon, vitality, or sprint. Spirit. Sprint. Added a recent purchases log to the shop that displays all items bought by players during a match, ordered by most recent. I guess it's good to know if you want to know if someone's throwing. Added support for the new Steam game recording timeline API. This automatically adds timeline markers for kill steps and team objectives. That's cool. Added checkbox in settings to force the game to take focus when the game is unpaused. You can now hover party members on the dashboard while in queue to view their roster. Active reload indicator UI slightly adjusted. Added frenzied text when you own frenzy and go below 50% health. That is really good. Hopefully they do it for more items too, because I know there are more items that does not, it's not that clear, I think. Added a social tab to settings dialog. This contains streamer mode. We already knew that existed. Added support for Steam content filtering settings and a new setting to adjust incoming chat visibility. Hero stats on the left side of the HUD are now hidden by default and can be viewed by holding Alt or Tab. When a stat is temporarily increased or decreased, it will show by default for the duration. Added hover tooltip descriptions to stats on the left side of the HUD. Bots will more aggressively attack the shrines and patron when pushing into the enemy base. I guess that's like a bug fix because they were kind of just walking around before. Fix being able to briefly regain regen when crossing the veil of the enemy fountain. Fixed commands for all heroes not showing up correctly in the player profiles. Updated McGinnis barrage explosions to show the edge of the AoE better. Fix the X button in the shop search, not closing the search box finally. Sinner Sacrifice, the punching machine now has a final damage state for clear raid on final hit. Very good, that's the thing I was complaining about. Fix some issues with quantum entanglement, not moving units with it correctly when there is nearby geometry. Fixed various bugs with duplicate hero not working properly in private lobbies. Fixed Great Talon getting assist credit while flying guided owl. Fixed Sinner Sacrifice changing facing directions sometimes, that look goofy as hell. Fixed a rare bug where shields would never regenerate. Fixed some cases where troopers would get stuck in the base. Fixed using melee to secure orbs being a little bit unresponsive. New effects for viscous heavy melee. We're gonna have to check that out, I guess. Added an ambient looping sound for each bridge power-up. Fixed some animation issues with Vindicta. Added new zipline animation for Vindicta. Looped music will resume playing if interrupted by transient queue. Just bug fixes really at this point, but it's gonna be more balance changes down the line. Various bug fixes for looping sound effects and ones are sometimes like playing every frame for a period of time. Improved animation readability for Monk Krill Heavy Melee. That is actually really good because I was complaining about that. It's funny how like a lot of the things I complained about end up being fixed. They're definitely not listening to me. Reduced visual clutter on 7's tracers with high fire rate. Reduced visual clutter on Wraith's tracers with high fire rate. Effects updates for Fortitude. Added a missing lean animation near walls for Mirage. Sandblast distance and AoE read improvements. Fixed issues where health regen effect will begin popping on and off if player is at max health. New sounds added to Yamato's Power Slash, Flying Strike and Shadow Transformation abilities. New sounds added to Lash's Ground Strike and Fly abilities. Curious to hear what they're gonna sound like. I'm gonna be interesting. Or that's going to be interesting. Renamed mouse wheel to chat wheel. And then the Steam input support. I'm just skipping all of this. But it does seem like adding some controller support, adding a controller tab to house controller specific options. So that is coming. Hopefully they're not adding aim assist. That would be a shame. Let's hold out for that. Moving on, these are some, okay, so moving on, we go to the actual gameplay changes, balance changes and whatnot. Troopers no longer change soul sharing rules after laning phase ends, meaning troopers don't split souls. That means that if I push a lane and I have a teammate with me, and I kill the minions and then last hit the orbs, they don't get the money anymore. Troopers no longer increase their bounty by 20% at 8 minutes either. Hero kill gold increased from 150 to 1400. Oh my god, that's huge! To 175 to 2000. Okay, I misread that. That would have been crazy. That would have been fucking crazy. That would have like been turning into team deathmatch. That's still good though. Kills are worth more. I think that's a good change because I want kills to be worth. They feel like a waste. Neutral creeps now give 5% less souls. So jungling is a little bit less efficient. Troopers now take 28% more damage from guardians. So guardians are a bit more useful. Walkers damage versus players increased, so walkers are more useful. Guardians will now focus their attack on enemy players if an enemy player shoots a hero and enemy player is within 15 meters of the... Oh! Guardian buff as well, chat. They will focus their attack on enemy players if the enemy player shoots a hero while the enemy player is within 15 meters of the Guardian. Like in League of Legends. That's fucking awesome. Diving will be way less viable now. So there's going to be, even though kills are worth more, I think they're still going to slow the game down a little bit. There's going to be a little bit less kills. Moved 8 neutral camps, 4 of each sides from outside the outer lanes. So I assume that's these. Oh no, that's these. They're showing them. To in between inner and outer lanes. So up on the roofs here. But they only show the roof top. I guess the one is inside somewhere. Added cosmic veils to ground floor entrances to mid, ground vision looking in, but block vision looking out. Ooh, that's gonna make taking mid a lot more risky. Biased earned delivery locations move slightly closer to neutral positions. That's good, because like right now it was kind of a waste doing the earn if you were in the lead. Minor adjustments to respawn curve. 40s respawn happening at 20 minutes now happens at 17 minutes. Walker armor loss over time now happens at 16 minutes instead of 14 minutes. Trooper spirit resist goes to 30% instead of 40% at 25 minutes. Mid-boss rejuve trooper health increased by 30%. Fixed troopers resistance against base guardians not working properly. Moving on, redesigned the warehouse interior to allow entry from the front of the tenements and music hall buildings. Moved the stairs from the warehouse interior to the underground tunnel farther from the earned delivery location. I don't know if it's like clear in this as a video. I don't think it loads for me though. It doesn't. Removed all railings from fire escape stairs. Well, that'll just make it a little bit less annoying to take the fire escape. Pass at, not OSHA safe, but it is what it is. Pass at making rooftops smoother to navigate. Removed angled supports from chimney. Removed collision from small props. Added stairs on top of bodega. Replace small chimneys and temporary spikes with larger roof spikes to designate zap trigger locations. So I guess that's the new, you can really see it. Replace temp antennae with more menacing version to designate zap trigger locations. I don't even care, man, because I'm gonna rotate out of bounds constantly. It's just so good. These changes were included early in the map update. It came with the Halloween patch. Yep, this is the new Halloween building. The new hotel. We've already seen that by now. Moving on, we have some item changes. I'm interested to see, like, again, I think the flow of the game will be a lot different, and I'm super glad to see the Guardians actually start defending the players a little bit, so we will see just how much of a difference it will make. I hope a lot, because I'm so tired of standing behind the Guardian and then having the Guardian do nothing. Moving on, especially early game. Close quarters for with weapon items. Close quarters no longer grants 85 bullet shield health. It now grants 5% bullet resist as well, or instead. What I am wondering is, I don't have the math in my head. Don't know if that's more efficient or more or less the same. Restorative shot no longer grants bullet resist, now grants bullet shield instead, so they swap places. Now procs on orb shots for NPC heal value. I would almost say that restorative shot, that feels like a buff to me. I already thought a restorative shot was good, but that's even better. But that depends on now procs and orb shots for NPC heal value. Does that mean it only works on NPC on the orbs, or just in general? We'll see. Either way, I think it's low-key a buff. Bit of a nerf, but also a buff. Melee charge no longer grants 1 HP regen. Melee charge weapon damage reduced from 12 to 10%. Okay. Slight nerf. Long range weapon damage reduced from 40 to 30%. And we mentioned this previously on stream. Long range now grants 10% weapon damage. So the overall damage is unchanged, but is less all or nothing. It used to have just a lot of long range damage, but you get none of it if they're closer than that. And now they're actually, it's a little bit more viable. As somebody who is a long range enjoyer, this is even better. For my gun bop and my my experimental dynamo build, this is perfect. Berserker, bullet resist increase from 7% to 9%. Active reload. What's with my reading today? Active reload now grants 50 health. Cool. Strong bullets, spirit power increase from +5 to +6. Moving on to tier 2. Sharpshooter. That's tier 3, sorry. Sharpshooter, long range weapon damage reduced from 70% to 50, but it grants 20% weapon damage, so it's the exact same thing as with long range. It is more viable, but still has the same damage output over long range, but it's a little bit safer on close, if I understand it correctly. I think I do. Alchemical Fire now grants +1 sprint. Heroic Aura cooldown reduced from 32% seconds to 25 seconds. Intensifying Magazine, time to reach max damage reduced from 3 seconds to 2.7. I think that's interesting. It feels like a small change, but it will mean if you do have an Intensifying Magazine hero, you just have to track him for 2.7 seconds now to really start shredding. And you know, every 100 milliseconds make a difference. Toxic Bullets, damage change from 5% of current health to 2.5% of max health. Ooh. Ooh. That is a big buff. That is a big buff. That makes that an anti-tank weapon. Ooh, that is gonna... Right? If they're like... I'm not very good with math, but if I'm thinking 5% of current health if they're half health, then that's the same as 2.5% of their max health. So that means that at any point, so I guess maybe it's like less damage or unchanged over 50% health, but under 50% health, that's gonna hit hard. That's gonna hit hard against like Abrams and whatnot, just really tanky dudes. Jesus. And then tier 4, Shadow Weave detection range increased to 22. Love it. We love Shadow Weave nerfs. Glass Cannon health loss reduced from 15 to 12. Glass Cannon buffs. Okay, we're using this even more now. Frenzy, low HP bullet resist increased from 45 to 55. Lucky Shot fixes causing proc effects to roll twice whenever it procced. Oh, that means it's nerfed overall. Silencer that grants Spirit Resist. Vampiric Burst cooldown reduced to 30. Okay. That makes sense because like I feel like most people don't use Vampiric Burst. So this is all so far. We haven't seen the rest. Very big changes to some specific weapon builds. Heroic Aura might be getting closer to being viable. I might have, yeah, with the 25-second cooldown. And also the Alchemical Fire was +1 sprint, not spirit. Sorry, I'm crossing my wires today. Moving on though, we have vitality items. Extra health, weapon damage increased from 6% to 7%. Healing Rite, duration increased to 20 seconds, so it's slightly, from 19 seconds to 20 seconds. Total health restored unchanged, which means it heals a lot slower. Or, you know, overall a second slower. Bullet Armor, bullet resist increased from 25% to 26%. Return Fire, duration reduced to 6 seconds, that's a big change. Healing Nova now grants 6% ability range. Combat Barrier, fire rate increased from 6 to 7%. Debuff Reducer, health increased from 75 to 125. Makes it a bit more viable in early game, because I always felt like Debuff Reducer felt like a waste. Hot take, unless you want it for very specific reasons. It's not a good like overall weapon item. Healbane, healing reduction increased from 40 to 45. Huge. Reactive Barrier restores 1 stamina on proc. Oh my god. That is huge. Still using glass mousepad? Yep, I am on the Wallhack SP4 code ottr 10%. Best mousepad I've ever used. 10% off even. Moving on. I was so excited that I couldn't even say it right. Spirit Armor, Spirit Resist increased from 20% to 22%. Divine Barrier no longer grants 8% ability range. Divine Barrier now grants Spirit Power. A lot of builds were using Divine Barrier as a means to for that specific ability range. It was the cheapest way to get range, I believe. I guess if you combine it with the Mystical Reach. I do wonder... I feel like we're going to see less of the Divine Barrier now. It's still a solid item, but we're probably going to see less of it now. Restorative Locket no longer grants 5 spirit power. Restorative Locket now grants 25% melee resistance. I wasn't even using it that much, so I can't see how that feels. Metal Skin no longer blocks melee damage. Oh man. This is going to look goofy as hell. Debuff Remover, debuff resistance increased from 35% to 40. Debuff Remover cooldown reduced from 48 to 45. Even more buffs. Veilwalker, ammo increased from 12 to 15%. Veilwalker weapon damage increased from 10 to 15%. Fortitude, health increased from 365 to 400. Makes it a bit more viable. Life Strike, bullet resistance increased from 8% to 10%. Soul Rebirth removed from the game. That shit's gone. Inhibitor slow reduced from 25 to 20%. Oh, that sucks. Siphon bullets grants weapon damage 15%. Phantom Strike buffs as well. Now grounds any flying targets on impact, similar to how Slowing Hex used to work. Interesting. That makes that low-key a choice against the flyers. Just Phantom Strike on that actually makes it more valuable because the flyers was a big problem, and now you can just not only close the gap, because if you try to Phantom Strike on them before, they could just keep flying and get away, but now they're going down on the ground with you, so now they're fucked. Way better choice than knockdown for certain heroes now. Spirit, now we're going over Spirit items. Ammo Scavenger, duration increased from 35 seconds to 45 seconds. We had a discussion about this, I think 2 days ago, about Ammo Scavenger not being that worth it. It might be more worth it now. Mystic Burst now triggers on your base damage rather than how much the target receives. Oh, I didn't even know it did that. Okay. So previously, apparently, if they had enough spirit resist, even though you've done the math and you're like, yeah, I should have enough damage to get this proc, it won't because they have too much spirit resist. That's huge. That's actually a very big buff, I think, overall, especially if you're dealing with like certain tanky heroes. A lot of anti-tank, anti-bruiser so far. Slowing Hex now uses Enduring Spirit as a component. Okay, I didn't really like Enduring Spirit, but that makes it a little bit more viable. Now gains 10% Spirit Lifesteal and 75% bonus health. Spirit power reduced. No longer grants +1 sprint. Damage reduced from 70 to 40. That's still very good though. That makes it more viable to get Slowing Hex, I'd say. Or Enduring Spirit, or both. That's a good choice. Withering Whip, bullet resist reduction reduced from 14% to 11%. Cooldown reduced from 22 to 18 seconds. Now deals 50 spirit damage. Yeah, you might as well. A little bit of damage. The way Slowing Hex also does. DK now grants HP regen plus 1.5. Now grants 8% ability duration. Healing reduction increased from -50% to -70%. Bleed damage reduced from 3.1% to 1%. Cooldown reduced from 45 seconds to 33 seconds. So it's a reshuffle. It's no longer as much about dealing damage as much as it is more about just denying someone from healing. It acts more as a debuff. And I'm noticing that a lot of these counter items, what they're doing is, I guess people aren't really buying them that much. So what they're doing is they're trying to make the counter items low-key viable overall. So you can bake them into a build and still get other things as well. So you don't have some items that are core items, and then you have the counter items that are only serve one purpose, which is countering. But now they seem to be a little bit more in line with each other. At least in this case, maybe they keep doing that. Improved cooldown reduction reduced from 16% to 14%. Spirit Shield improved from 75 to 100, and now grants 10 ammo. Okay. In the next tier, we have Superior Cooldown, which grants 15 ammo. Improved Burst, 15% ammo. Improved Burst now now triggers on your base damage rather than how much the target receives. It's the same thing as we mentioned previously. Max HP damage reduced from 9% to 8%. And then finally, Magic Carpet, as for the items, this hero changes too. The Magic Carpet now grants 10% ability range. I don't know if anyone's gonna buy the Magic Carpet, but hey, if you want more range, you could do it. You have more of a reason to do it now. Moving on into hero changes. Damn, I really feel like we're making builds. You're trying to make like one build a night, and it's really making a big difference to my understanding of items. We're gonna become like a Wikipedia at this point. Yeah. But yeah, hero changes. Reverted melee attack speed reduction. Sorry, for Abrams. Abrams shoulder charge can now use left-right strafe so that your keyboard buttons to slightly change direction. It now carries momentum at the end of the charge. That is interesting. So I guess you can probably like slide or so you can charge and then you slide or you jump or something. You can use that for movement tech now, assuming you don't slam into something. Siphon life speed scaling increased from 0.3 to 0.36. Infernal resilience damage regen reduced from 15 to 14%. Infernal resilience damage regen duration increased from 18 to 20 seconds. Infernal resilience tier 3 reduced from 8% to 7%. Fix an issue where seismic impact would travel more downwards instead of the facing direction. Cool, I like that. We'll probably feel a lot better playing Abrams now. Bebop is seeing a lot of sticky bomb changes again. They cannot decide what they want to do with that damn ability. The sticky bomb damage gain per hero impact increased from 1 to 1.5%. Sticky bomb damage gain per hero killed reduced from 5% to 4%. So kills are worth less, but you just sticking them overall seems to be worth more now. Sticky bomb tier 3 change from disarm to minus 30% damage penalty for 5 seconds, similar to inhibitor's debuff. Sticky bomb now calculates its damage at detonation time rather than at cast time, which affects item combinations. Yes, it does. It's kind of crazy to think about it, that's how it worked all along. That's way better. Sticky bomb now has a 2x cast range, so twice as long when used on allies. His hook damage reduced from 40 to 10. Hook damage now spirit scaling of 2x. Hyper beam now goes on cooldown for 3 seconds when cancelled during precast. Ooh, wait. Wait, that's actually okay. That's actually huge. Okay, we're gonna take a small side quest here, because we recently found out you can do Diviner's Kevlar. You buy Diviner's Kevlar for Bebop, then when you cast it, you can just cancel your ultimate immediately, and you get the Diviner's Kevlar. It goes on cooldown, but you get Diviner's Kevlar. So what? Does that work? Let's find out. To cancel it. Oh, okay, that's during the cooldown. So that would be... Let's see if it works. That's the Diviner's Kevlar.
If I were channeling a mystical ritual, this is the only armor I'd buy.
Okay, they thought of that. Okay, I can't tell if it's bugged or not. Okay, wait, we actually broke it. Oops. It goes on cooldown, but disappears if you cancel it, so I don't know what to make of that. Where's the Diviner's Kevlar? Here.
Now, if I was,
so what if we do the full one? Cancel it here. That still works. That still works. That's crazy.
Right there is the armor I'd buy.
Yeah, we actually just keep this here. We can tab it and we can try to see how the heroes feel. Let's try the Abrams ult while we're at it. Oh yeah, that feels better. That feels a lot better. And oh yeah, wait, that low key. Okay, let's do no cooldown. I'm gonna try the momentum. All right, I guess you can slide. You can jump after? No. Okay, so if you that's like they actually added a tech. If you just do the shoulder charge, you can cancel it over our edge. You got a little bit of speed there. You can slide off, but you need to do it. Actually, you can just cancel it at any point as long as you cancel it. You get a, okay. So they added a movement tick for Abrams there. That's huge. Moving on, let's continue. I hope you guys like these side quests. Like, we're figuring out a format for the patch notes. There's a lot of ways to go about it. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. We're gonna talk about Dynamo. Now gains a 1% build resist per boon. Now fixed quantum entanglement, sometimes not moving you to destination properly. Ooh, that's happened to me a lot. That's perfect. Singularity now deals 1.5% max HP into base ability. That's a big buff. Tier 3 increased to from 3.8 to 4%, which means that that's the max HP now deals 4% max HP at tier 3. Singularity base DP is reduced to 45, so I guess it's a bit of a tweak, but overall I think it's a buff. Great Talon, base bullet damage reduced from 27 to 24. Yes, Great Talon nerfs. Bullet damage growth per boon increased from 141 to 162. Same total damage later on. Fall off range rescaled from 22 meters to 58 meters to 18 meters to 54 meters. So the damage fall off starts sooner and ends sooner. Rain of arrows strafe distance with stamina reduced by 30%. Charge shot hitbox size reduced. Fuck yeah, he's not shooting tree trunks anymore. They figured that out. They took Overwatch years to do this. Let's see that. Is that a hit? Doesn't miss. And that's a hit. That's still pretty big, but that's a big difference. And then what if we dash? You still can dash a decent amount, but I don't know, it's still, you know, that's crazy. They made it 20% smaller and it's still like super forgiving. Look at that. That is crazy. Okay, moving on. Haze bullet damage no longer hits 2 targets. So this is, I consider this a buff because yes, it doesn't hit 2 targets anymore, which was very strong for AoE. But it now grants a 30% fire rate and it allows you to use items while using it. So my first thought for Haze is, you don't buy Haze in the store, is, hold on. Warpstone. There's probably way worse things you can do, but I'm thinking Warpstone. You just fucking warp at them and shoot them with the ult. Like, obviously I don't have much range here, but... Or I'm thinking Phantom Strike with her ult, especially after the buffs. Like, what do you even do? There's a lot of potential there. So, like, it's way better, maybe not for, like, killing entire teams, even though you can probably still do it with Ricochet, but it's a way better, it's a way better ability for singling out one target and killing them. Especially that you can use your items during it. Very big buff for Haze. It's a reshuffle, but it's overall a buff. And Sleep Dagger tier 3 now causes targets to wake up with 40%, or rather minus 40% fire rate. Yeah, buff overall. Moving on, Infernus Catalyst slow reduced from 40% to 35%. Afterburn buildup per bullet headshot reduced from 10% and 16 to 9 and 14. So headshots a little bit worse. Obviously both are worse, but you can feel it more for the headshots. That changes breakpoints, doesn't it? That changes breakpoints. That means you will need 1 more bullet to proc your afterburn. At least. Ivy, Watcher's Covenant fire rate spirit scaling increased. Ooh, gun Ivy buffs. Bullet, the Watcher's Covenant bullet lifesteal spirit scaling increased to 0.3. Oh, even more. Love that. Lash ground strike can now be cast while on the zip line. Okay, how does that feel? I mean, that's a marginal difference because you can still use kind of like, you can just cancel it in one, but I mean, it's cool. Quality of life. Fixed interaction between Mirage's Tornado and Death Slam. Don't know what that was. Ground strike now pulls enemies to the ground with you, similar to Stone Form recently. Wait, it wasn't already doing that? How would I even? Okay, I don't know if I can test that in the bot range without having like a volunteer here. Oh, this might be a bit too hard. Hello, my puppet. I need you to get up on that. There we go. And then clear follow. So you still need to basically touch him. Oh, yeah, I guess because he's standing, it doesn't really work. It'd have to be flying for that too. Yeah, okay, whatever. Whatever. You get it. You get it. That's a pretty big buff. It's good. There weren't really many ways to deal with flyers, and we're seeing a lot of changes to counteract that. Beginner's Minotaur DPS reduced from 60 to 40. Minotaur's health reduced from 20% max HP to 15. Nice. Mirage, bullet size reduced to 5. That's good because he was shooting tree trunks. Mirage tornado speed I'm slowing down, sorry. Mirage tornado speed reduced from 20 meters to 18 meters. Tornado lift duration reduced from 1.1 seconds to 1 seconds. Fire Scarabs T2 reduced from -50 bullet resist to -10. Moving on, we have Paradox. Ooh, that's a big change. Bullet velocity increased from 411 to 525. How does that feel? That has to feel massive. It was already kind of fast, wasn't it? Oh, wow. That feels like near hit scan. It's not hit scan, but it feels super fast. Okay. Time Wall no longer has charges. It also no longer deals 10% max health damage. The cooldown has been reduced to 25. And now there's a Time Wall T2 that deals 10% max health damage instead. So what does it do as a Time Wall now? It just stops projectiles and slow people who touch it. Okay. Without any specs. Kinetic Carbine max damage amp increased from 85 to 100%. That's huge. Paradoxical swap time to complete the swap reduced from 0.5 to 1.5 to 0.3 to 0.6. Variable based on distance. So it's much faster. It's like half. Wait, it's more than half. Let me see. What's the paradoxical? Let me like. Wait, we don't have the old one, but we can see the. Whoa! 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 Okay. Jesus. You're gonna get whiplash from that. My God. Okay, that's super fast. All right. Pocket barrage spirit scaling increased from 0.4 to 0.5. Light melee damage increased, so just a slight change, slight buff. Vindicta, base bullet damage reduced from 15 to 13. Bullet damage growth per boon increased from 0.65 to 0.8. Same total damage later on. Stake duration increased from 0.75 to 2 seconds. Flight T2 reduced from +8 seconds to +6 seconds. Crow familiar tick rate changed from every 0.5 seconds to every 1 second. Is that a damage nerf or is that just I didn't really use the crow that much, but I know there was some crow builds getting popular. I would imagine so then, right? Not entirely sure about that part, but either way. Assassinate starts at 25% power instead of 50% power, so quick scoping is a lot worse. So this is an overall nerf to flying in general, or just, I guess, Vindicta in general. She both sees indirect nerfs with all the items, with all the other heroes, you know, surrounding her, but she sees a big nerf, and long range, of course, but she sees a nerf to her direct kit as well. Moving on with Viscous, the cube health region now scales with Spirit at 0.2. Goo Ball down dash ability moved from tier 3 to base ability. What's the Goo Ball down dash ability? Is that this one? Could you not do that already? I thought you could just do that. Oh yeah, it literally has a separate cooldown. Okay. Goo Ball size now increases with range upgrades. Doesn't affect collision with world. Wait, what? We have to see that. Okay, we need some range. Okay, come on. Give me some. Oh, that's a quick bite too. That's cool. But we don't care about that. I want to see some range. We want to see some range, chat. We're gonna make the biggest ball. This is the default ball. And then we're gonna get some range going. The ability reach. Is that what we're looking for? I don't know why that doesn't. There we go. Healing Nova, Mystic Reverb, Magic Carpet. Okay, let me see this. Oh man, that is a big boy. That is a big boy. Jesus. All right, I love that. Warden now has +1 sprint. Bullet velocity increased from 213 to 290. Last stand now goes on cooldown if you die or the ability is interrupted while cast. That's a nerf. Last stand tier 3 no longer grants unstoppable during channel. It instead gives 50% spirit resist during channel. It was already doing bullet resist on spirit and that. Interesting. Moving on to Wraith, telekinesis cast time increased from 0.6 to 0.7. Telekinesis damage reduced from 200 to 175. I love that they nerfed that and now it's easier to stun her. Perfect. As for Yamato, Shadow Transformation now affects the grapple time speed. Oh! Let's try that out. I probably should have... So you, like, you would fly even... Oh, you're red now when it's up. Okay. Let's try this again. So that's default. Oh, yeah, there's a very big difference there. That's obviously no Shadow Transformation. Also, I noticed no sound on this. It's just because there's music, otherwise it might be distracting. Yeah, that's very noticeable. Shadow Transformation duration increased from 4 seconds to 6. Shadow Transformation no longer prevents death. Okay. Whole rework. Shadow Transformation now grants 60% blood resist and spirit resist. Shadow Transformation now heals for 30% HP. Done after the dispel. So, okay, so we... Well, heal me immediately. Okay, yeah, so like right as you click it, it heals you. That's cool. Shadow Transformation duration now extends by 2 seconds whenever you get a kill in it for that session. Oh my god, I love that. That's like Genji moment. That's just gonna be so badass. I love that. That's a great change. Yamato might actually be low-key viable now. So what if we just kill all these dudes? We just fucking roll them. Oh no, we don't like kid it enough here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I actually like that. You know, yeah. Yamato might actually, I don't know what tier I would put her in. That might make her low-key meta now. We'll see though. At the very least, she's closer to Genji, which is what everyone wants from Yamato. It's funny too, because everyone was complaining about it on Reddit. Man, I love that. That's a great change. Good job, devs. Bloodhound. I guess it's closer to Bloodhound, yeah. Especially because she goes red. That is a really huge change. I like that. But that was all of the changes. We can try quick buy as well. It doesn't really work because you can buy it anywhere in the store. You just right click it. Oh yeah, and then like I guess what if we walk to the curious shop, it's gonna buy it. I thought it would automatically do it. Okay, so it's a bit buggy here, and then you have recent purchases here. I think it's really cool. Overall, W patch. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like, subscribe, check out the video on the screen. It's a banger. But yeah, those are the patch notes for today. So I hope you guys are gonna have fun. We're gonna have some fun with Yamato, that's for sure. And I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.